System error. Alignment unknown.
I'd like you all to roll initiative.
Oh, now I roll well. Alright. Ooh, I'll roll good.
I got okay.
Okay, so first initiative of the new campaign. Can I have Brandis Thorn?
14.
14, lovely. Rinwen,
22.
22, lovely. And finally, Punch,
22.
22. Can I have the dexterity modifiers of Punch and Rinwen, please?
3. 4.
4, so Rinwen will go first.
Bitch!
So, as you're having this conversation, you're kind of panicking, and you hear the skittering of small feet. You all turn to where the noise comes from to see a giant rat coming out of the small nesting area that seems to be in the centre of the room. We start at the top of the round with Rinwen. What do you want to do?
I am going to... can I go... Ah! And then just fire out a firebolt.
Yeah, go for it. So it's a
range attack.
range attack. Roll for attack. First roll of fight.
Not amazing. So that is maths 14.
14 hits. Roll for damage.
That is a 7.
7 of
Fire damage, sorry.
lovely. I should have known that already because it's a fire thing. But, you know, sorry.
But yeah, no, I should mention that.
Thank you. So you, kind of panicking, just see this thing just start quickly gesturing, throw forward. There's a small bolt of fire that just lands directly in its face. It kind of rears back, screeching, and knocks into another one that you can see, which was kind of resting underneath the nest, and is kind of knocked by the one rearing back. Anything else for you?
I am going to... I'm just going to move so I'm kind of out the way of people. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Fine.
Don't like you giggling when I move.
No, it wasn't. It was less me giggling that you're running into a bad situation. It was more the fact that you went, I'm going to move out of the way, people, and ran right in front of them. So you, after hitting the bolt, run past Brandis and Punch, and then just sneak around the corner into the like the closest area you can find with a wall behind you.
Cool,
That brings us to Punch.
I'd like to throw my dagger at this rat just here, please.
Yep, roll for attack.
Oh. Well, that's an entire 5.
5. You throw the dagger, it just kind of slides past him on the floor. It kind of lands several feet before him and just slides towards him and then past him into the nest. Yes.
Yeah.
What else would you like to do? And you've just armed a rat.
Shanky.
Oh god. I think I'm going to move a little bit to the side. There we go.
Okay, so you, realising that you're basically blocking the way of Brandis, just move to the other side of the small corridor that you're currently in after throwing your dagger and missing. Anything else you'd like to do?
Can I take my short? No, it's an action, isn't it? To take my short sword out.
Yeah, pull out a weapon would be an action.
That's fine.
Anyway, that brings us to Giant Rat number 2. Because they always get great names like that when I run bad guys. Don't worry, the boss of this mission will have a name. The boss? No, never. So, that brings us to him, who is going to... Okay, cool. Lovely. So that brings us to rat number 2, who is going to run across the room 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to Ms. Rinwen and is going to try bite you.
Oh no, don't
That's 17 to hit.
yeah, that definitely hits.
Yeah, we're starting off
Please
right.
don't kill me.
That is 3 points of piercing damage.
He's
Okay.
dead.
Ah yes, that
Damn
beautiful...
spellcaster.
That beautiful level 1 spellcasting. But that brings us to giant rat number 3, who is going to come out of the nest here and is going to 5, 10, 15. I can't go there because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and is there. That was giant rat number 1, who's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you. So the second rat runs around the side of the room and then just kind of hides in the shadows of the cavern as the first one that seems to have taken the most damage so far runs headfirst into you, Punch, and is going to roll for a bite. That's not going to hit. That's 11.
Yay! I'm good.
That brings us to Brandis.
Okay, I'm gonna get out the crossbow I in no way borrowed from the armory. And make a sneaky attack. And by sneak attack I mean just an attack.
Yeah.
That's 21 to hit.
21 hits, roll for damage. Which are you trying to hit, sorry?
Oh, that one.
You're trying to hit the one that's just in front of you. Yeah.
And that's 7 piercing.
7 piercing as he is wiped off the face of this planet once more. That is him. That brings us to giant rat number 4. Sorry, did you have anything else you wanted to do?
No.
No, that's fine. Brings us to giant rat number 4, who is currently there and is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 and is going to try and attack you with advantage because there is a creature, there is a pack tactics, rat has advantage on attack roll against the creature if at least one rat's allies is within 5 feet of the creature and the ally is incapacitated. Because pack tactics. Anyway, the highest it rolled was a 6.
Oh, thank God.
So, that's 10 to hit.
No. No, it doesn't. Thanks.
Wait, no, that's a 9. 13 to hit.
No.
Ah, fuck it.
Your face for a second was
That
so
brings us
worried.
back to the top of the round with Rinwen.
Right then.
So you have these 3 rats there. The one that's just darted to your right, the one directly in front of you has just bit you, and there seems to be 2 others off in the distance, but one of them seemed to explode about 2 minutes ago. Not 2 minutes ago. 6 seconds ago, because D&D.
I am going to cry. No, I'm going to cast Fog Cloud
Yep.
on the point where I'm at.
Yep.
So it will create a 20-foot radius of fog centered on the point where I currently am.
So essentially... Lovely. That'll do. So there's essentially just a thick cloud of fog just starts to appear from the water and slowly move towards you, kind of completely encapsulating the area around you.
Yep.
What would you like to do? I'm assuming that makes that area obscured. Heavily obscured?
Yeah, heavily obscured.
Heavily obscured, cool. So everyone in that area currently is essentially blinded.
Cool.
Including you.
Yep. This is probably a terrible decision then.
Which means you automatically fail ability checks that require sight, and attack rolls have disadvantage, and attack rolls against you have disadvantage as well.
Can I... I'm going to try and... Am I close enough to the wall to feel?
Yeah, I'd say that you basically can back up against the wall behind you.
Can I shimmy over to my left?
Okay, so you start to shimmy down the wall
Yeah.
here. 5,
I would like
10,
the entire 30
15,
movement.
20, 25, 30. So you get to a point where essentially you start shimmying down the wall and then your left foot goes into water. And you're like, there's the brook. Continuing through it, following the wall around, you just come out onto the edge of the fog and you can't see anything around you but the brook going off into the distance. Anything else for you?
That is it.
Lovely, that brings us to Punch.
Do I see... I don't see that
You
right.
do see that one in front of you.
Awesome.
The 2 that you can't see, the 2 in the fog now.
Okay.
The last time you saw there were 2 there anyway.
I would like to get my short sword out, please.
Okay, so take your short sword.
I am going to 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to move, I reckon, to
Okay, so
forwards.
you're using as much, knowing that it's going to take you quite an action in terms of like, oh, I must do this thing because we're not playing D&D. This is real life, obviously. You take your full action to take out the sword and just charge forward 20 feet, getting right next to the nest that was that was where all the rats came from. Anything else, were you?
Nope, I'm just ready to slash.
Lovely. That brings us to giant rat number 2, who, because he is currently blinded, okay, he's going to move that way. He starts to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So he runs out across the stream onto the other side of the stream, and now is out of the fog and can see everything around it. And that brings us to giant rat number 3, which is that one there, which is going to come up behind you. 5, 10, 15, punch, and it's going to try bite you.
Okay.
That is 10 to hit.
Nope.
Nope. That brings us to Brandis Thorn.
Right. Just gonna go. Oh, there's lots of smoke. Okay. Just reload the crossbow then. Kind of quietly, kind of take a couple of steps back.
So something I learned by having to basically devour the entire player's handbook. Loading means that you can only fire it once a round, so you have loaded it in between your thing. We've been playing loading wrong recently.
Right. In which case, I feel like a fool. So I'm still going to take a couple of steps back. Just like I'm not used to this sort of thing.
So you start step back between your last turn and this turn. You've loaded an arrow into your crossbow, a bolt into your crossbow.
Take a pot shot for the one that's just by punch as well.
Okay, go for it.
9.
9. It essentially you let loose. It just skims over the top of it and just past the punch. Just missing a few inches off punch as well. Anything else, will you?
I'm going to just look at my crossbow, just angrily shake it.
That brings us to giant rat number 4. That was the one there that is in the fog, and that one is going to go this way. 5, 10, 15, 20. Finds you and is going to try bite you, Brandis. That's a natural 1.
If it falls
Isn't
off
it
the
great?
table,
Yeah, we made that house roll.
if it falls off the table, it's a natural 1.
Indeed. That brings us to... You know what? Because it's funny, it bites its tongue and kills itself! So, also, some fun things that you guys don't get to see behind the DM screen. I always roll health for the bad guys, so you don't get the... You're fighting 4 giant rats. Each of them have 6 HP. This one has 6 HP. That one has 7 HP. That one has 11. Yeah. That one didn't have that much HP, apparently.
There you go.
Anyway, that brings us back to the top of the round with Rinwen.
It's like,
Shakes it again.
That shook me a bit. I'm going to cast Firebolt at the one that came
Just
out of the fog cloud.
That's
and
cool.
directly in
Is
front of
the
me.
fog cloud a concentration, or is that...
It is just instantaneous.
It's just instantaneous, so
Yeah.
you don't have to concentrate. That's fine. That means that's just floating there. Go for it. Roll for attack.
It's like, I think it's slowly dispersing.
No, that's fine.
think.
It's more like, does
sorry.
it disappear entirely, or does it...
Oh shit, no, it is concentration.
Okay, so the moment that you cast this spell, the fog just dissipates.
Yeah.
Kind of almost like where when the smoke kind of rises to the ceiling, and you're now seeing like all this fog dissipating as if it's going to the ceiling, but disappears entirely. Go for it. Roll your range attack against them.
Firebolt.
Firebolt.
Really. No. That is a
Come on.
solid 8.
Nope, doesn't hit. So it just
Does not hit at all.
It flies over the top of him, just completely missing him. Anything else for you?
I am going to cross the river again. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, it's not going to make a difference. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay where I am.
So you seeing the fog disappear. You can now see the state of the room. You can see there's one rat in front of Punch who seems to have entered further into the room. There's that rat that's crossed the river, and other than that, that's all you can see. That brings us to Punch.
I'm going to take a slice of my rat.
Go for it.
Ooh, that's exciting. There we go. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20 hits. Roll the damage.
Oh, fuck me sideways.
I would rather not.
That is an entire 9 slashing.
9 slashing. He is completely chopped in twan as you as you just bring the sword across him, just completely gutting him as he's sat there. That brings us to giant rat number 2, who's going to panic and is going to run towards you, Rinwen. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and goes for a bite. That's a natural 2. That's not going to hit. That's 6.
No.
Lovely. That brings us to Brandis.
I'm gonna run further in, brandishing me. My crossbow. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Lovely.
And try and take a.
Yeah, you've got a line of sight on him. So you're running into the room, seeing this last moment. Roll for attack.
Oh, natural
20.
Oh, thank God.
You know what? Fuck it. How do you want to do this? Natural 20 with something that only has 6 hit points.
12 damage.
So I had 11.
So I kind of just wanted, like, very professionally, it's like just like the simulations.
I remember arcane school. So you
like very much like it's like that. Like then I got my brain kind of goes, that week of enforced guard training we had to do when we were doing diplomats, and I paid it no attention.
So you take the crossbow, you raise it so it's right in front of your face. You move it forward a little bit because you know about recoil. You then look straight down the eye line and you go, right, breathe in, move it slightly to the left because of manufacturing, and fire. And it just squarely hits it right between the eyes. And that is the round. Oh, woohoo!
I was gonna go,
Can I just sort of like clap him on the shoulder?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you did good.
So you just come over to him, just pat him on the side, going, well then, you held your own.
I'm going to kneel down and have a look at the rat a bit closer up.
Go for it. What are you looking for? Are you doing anything specific?
I'm just going to have a little, see if he's got anything on him. I doubt he's got any exciting gold or whatever, but also I just kind of want to have a quick look at a fresh dead body.
Okay, cool. Roll investigation check.
Not very good. So that is 15.
So you pick him up using the skewer that is the arrow that's holding him. Just very useful, holding him and start to spin it on the
kebab.
like a kebab, yeah. Spin it very slowly between your fingers. You get to see every gory detail of a freshly killed rat, just as its anus explodes.
Cool. Can I try and yank the arrow out?
Yes.
So I can give it back to Brandis.
Cool. So you take the bolt out. As you do, the body kind of almost tears in half as you just kind of pull it through, and the head of the bolt, which is kind of like it's got points on there. It's that typical kind of, imagine the Star Trek logo, because we can't get any more nerdy than this, with a stick coming out the little bit in the middle.
it's barbed.
It's barbed. That's the word I was trying to remember.
Like a cat's penis.
Like a
Can
cat's penis.
Find my dagger while she's doing this.
You can indeed. Make an investigation check whilst looking around. Remember, for those who have used arrows and stuff like that, you get half of your used arrows back.
18.
Plus 1 because she gave you that one back. 18. You find your dagger in the middle of the nest. You also find a small golden ring worth about 50 gold.
I head over to Brandis like, that was so cool! You didn't tell me you could shoot like that, and I just hand them over the arrow without shaking any of the goop on it.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna lie, I broke about 4 regulations then, but whatever. I'm gonna just suddenly this thing clicks and I go just turn around to punch and go, hang on, we let the guild use this place and let them kind of break a few rules under the knowledge that they keep it tidy.
We do our best. They are rodents of unusual size.
Fuck right off. in my like kind of like in my mild anger, I want to accidentally set the nest on fire. And go, oh no, trying to bat it. Like, no.
So you start to get a bit angry, and almost like a barbarian going into a rage, you just start to hear that kind of faint crackling noise. And you turn around, the nest is starting to ember, coming into quite a bright flame.
Well, that sorts that untidy issue out. Do you want to walk on through?
Yep.
Come on then.
Okay.
So, as you three head up into the next corridor, we shall take this as our first break. So we've been playing for about an hour, so we'll take this as the first break.
One eternity later.
You guys, just after your run-in with the rats, start to head down this only other exit in the kind of cavernous area, and you start to notice that now the entrances aren't very man-made at all. They're more like the natural forming of a cavernous kind of corridor between two plates as they've moved, as the world slowly rots. Something like that.
You're right.
No, I'm not right. I don't need this anymore. So start to head down, and essentially about half an hour later, come out onto the edge of a craggy kind of cliff, looking down onto the Sword Coast, quite literally.
So, weirdly, I was like, I'll let you burp before I carry on. Just out of politeness. I don't understand why. Anyway. Funny outside.
Yeah.
Is this not shaping up to what you wanted?
No, it's more I've never left Waterdeep. Ever.
Well, I can't say anything, but you're out now. You? How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, that hurt, I'm not gonna lie.
Do you need to rest?
I could do with...
You do
One.
remember that when you left, when you met at the tavern, it was late evening, so it was coming up. You two agreed to meet just after midnight, by the way. Something I didn't say in the previous, I do apologise. But you agreed to meet just after midnight, so you're coming up after about hour and a half of travel to about 1:30, 2 in the morning. After already, for you two at least, and for you running around, for you two in the delegates and librarian, and you for running around doing paperwork, that you've essentially been running around for an entire day, plus up to 2 o'clock doing God knows what.
I mean, I would appreciate a bit of a rest, like, even just to sit down for a minute. Do you think we can?
You're currently on a small kind of like edge on the side of a cliff, by the way, just in case that wasn't made clear. You're kind of like on there's a small kind of pathway leading up onto the cliff's edge, but you're currently like on a small little jut that comes out from the tunnel behind you.
Well, if we just get up here, we can find somewhere where we can have a rest. Okay? How's that beer sitting in your stomach right now?
Fine.
You look green.
It's alright. I know her. She'll be fun.
You're holding her hair.
Aye, damn it.
Yeah. You look after it. There we go. I head up the cliff path.
So taking the lead again, Punch just starts to very brazenly just start walking along this path. Can I just check, does anyone not have dark vision?
I got dark vision.
I've
You've
got dark vision.
I've got dark vision.
Oh, you've all had
Dark
dark
vision.
vision.
Robots in.
So you start to
Dark.
head up for what is quite a cloudless sky this evening. You have the light of the moon and also the stars above you just lighting the way. It's not very dark for you guys being dark vision imbued people. You start to head up this small path and come out onto the top of the cliff edge, and essentially you realise that you've just crested the edge of Waterdeep. You are literally looking up about 100, 200 feet away from you, the city wall of Waterdeep.
Can I take a moment just to look out.
As the camera pans up.
My hair is like floating in the
Alignment
wind.
unknown. A film in 7 parts.
Yeah, take that, Peter Jackson. We could do 7 parts. Can't do a 3-part of a 5-page novel.
And much like the 5 Armies film, I'm making it all up as well.
What? You're not like basing an hour of it on like a single sentence and then just like...
Are we going to have a Crowbar romance plotline?
Guys, stop pointing behind the curtain to the man with the...
So from where we are, we can see both Waterdeep and the view off the cliff.
Mm-hmm. Almost like a metaphor. Anyway, so around you, you've got Waterdeep directly kind of to your left at this point as you stand facing inland rather than off the cliff edge. To your right, you would know that it's going down to Baldur's Gate for about a week's travel. You know that essentially circling around the... if you were to circle around the perimeter of Waterdeep, you could come out by Amphale or Succumber. So essentially small little villages that are nestled around the larger city. You also know that between you and Baldur's Gate, south, there is Daggerford. A more town-sized... Excuse me. A more town-sized rather than village. Jesus.
Town-sized village, Jesus.
Yes.
Where is that? Sorry.
Daggerford.
Daggerford, that was it. It's going to be a fair trek from here. Do you want to set up camp now?
I think that's a good idea. You okay, Brandis?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, just...
I mean, I'm going to ask the question because nobody has mentioned it. Fair trek to where? Where are you planning to go?
Anywhere. I'm just assuming it's a fair trip. I'm trying to look like
I mean, you know that it's at least 3 days travel to the next settlement. So where is planning to go?
I wanted to head to the Desiren Valley. I want to know what happened.
What valley?
The Desiren Valley is where
Desiren.
the delegates went. I want to know what happened.
Kirsty, you'll know that as the Slumber Hills.
Ah, right, yeah.
It's essentially like a small... So as he kind of says that, he gestures north. Past Waterdeep, you can see ahead in the distance a large mountain range, which is known as the Sword Mountains, just next to a small little city called Phandalin. And between those mountains and Waterdeep, there is a small expanse of, like, not mountainous region, but hilly area known as Slumber Hills, otherwise known as Desiren Valley. It's essentially is a small mountainous or hilly area that is on the bank of the Desiren River. Excuse me, that's really hard to say.
That's cool. It's up to you where you guys want to go. I'm just here for the ride, essentially.
So, Desiren Valley then?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, let's... if we think we're safe enough here, then I would say let's camp out a little bit, celebrate our first night in the Yonder.
Can I just pull out my sleeping pack
Your bedroll.
and just kind of go to sleep?
Yeah, you literally just hearing people applying to sleep, just get your bedroll out, throw it, and just bunk down for the night. You were about to say?
That was very prepared. Okay. Is there any... would I be able to get any, sticks or anything? Or, just, I'm thinking of making a fire.
Make a survival check.
That is 11.
Okay, it's quite a sparsely populated cliff edge. There's not a lot around you at this point. However, you can kind of see where there have been, dead wood and stuff like that blown from the nearby. There's a small hilly small forest-like area, just very small kind of dot on the map almost, just due east of you, and it's kind of been blown along after weeks of heavy wind just blowing towards that area. You start to find enough to make a small rudimentary fire.
Cool. I blast a firebolt at it to... Oh god. Is that a little one?
You have a tinderbox in your adventurers pack.
I know, but this is way more
Cool, roll attack.
No.
Roll the damage.
No.
Why did I think, hey, that was a fun idea. That was fun. That is a 6.
6. Who's going to take it?
Me, I die.
You throw the firebolt into you make like a small sump in the ground, put the wood in, throw this firebolt down. It smashes the wood, smashes into the wood, and they kind of just disperse around the area. Each of you taking 1 fire damage as you're kind of caught by a piece of debris as it flies across the area.
I'm looking out over the view. It's like back of the head just goes thunk. Ow. Ow.
Sorry, Brandis.
Today's
Tried to make a fire. Didn't go well.
Can I get a little bit annoyed? And in doing so, like set the stick I'm holding a little flame on. Hey!
It goes out as it hits you, and then you kind of hold it, and you're just looking start to shake a little bit, and it just goes out of the end. And, there you go.
That is starting to get quite useful. And I take it.
I have no idea how I do it. In the slightest.
Can I not move, only moving to like just sort of pat out
Go
any
pat
embers?
it out and then just get it.
And I'd be like, Brandis, what did I say?
Yes, I'm looking after her, but at the same
Don't
time...
need looking after.
I beg to differ. Right, guys, we're trying to sneak out of here. You've literally set the place on fire. Can I suggest you get your blankets out and you just go to sleep? Okay? It's been a long, long day. Please.
Guys, turn to punch back. First things first. No paper trail. Our backs are covered. How did the city know we're gone?
People lurk.
No. What have you done in the city to cover the fact we're missing?
Well, I've done nothing about you two. Covered my tracks.
Good. We will deal with this tomorrow. I don't think they'd do anything now. Were you meant to be anywhere?
No.
No one really cares about me, so I think we're fine.
It's not. Yeah, I suppose.
Ouch.
You set
Right.
fire to my head.
I tried to make a fire for you guys. So I'm gonna sit down with my fiery stick and trance out.
This is the longest version of I'm going to go to sleep ever. Why do you have to do this every session?
We go to sleep. I take first watch.
Cool. So, Brandis, you kind of feeling a bit more...
Morose.
Thank you, music. You feeling a bit more oriental. You feeling a bit kind of somber and a bit thrown off by the situation of leaving your home city and also the only place you've ever really known. Kind of take first watch to let yourself mull over the situation as these two fall asleep. Excuse me. Make a perception check. What's the score?
4.
I can't stop burping. You spend most of the time not really paying attention to anything behind you, just listening to the waves lapping against the rock wall below you, watching over the sea. You can see, even though it's quite dark, you can kind of see the emerging presence of the Moonshade Isles in the distance. You can see like a small boat travelling along to where you assume to be going to Neverwinter. Not a lot else happens as you end your watch. who's taking second watch?
I'll do it.
Okay, so you only needing 4 hours to sleep, being an elven figure.
A bitchin' elf.
You kind of come out of your trance, seeing Brandis just pensively watching over the water. Take up watch, let him fall asleep, or at least you hope sleep. Could you roll a perception check? What's your there, please?
I can. Ooh, I can. That is 18.
18, lovely. Again, you can see the moon trails in the distance. You can see boats travelling in the night. You start to notice, as you kind of keep an eye out on the land area as well, that essentially there's this really kind of weird moment where Waterdeep is currently in half light. There's the taverns and the buildings that seem to be of a nocturnal frequenting pattern, and then their lights slowly go out, and just as theirs go out, the morning people start to light up their taverns and their lanterns and stuff like that. It's kind of this weird kind of swap of light in the space that is the city.
I try and do that thing. You know when you go and you go through the automatic doors, and you're like, have the force. I'm going to try and do that, and just like, it's going to work.
So you make a sleight of hand check.
Is that? Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. That is 17.
17. So you essentially looking, nobody's watching you, you can see nothing around you. You essentially get Waterdeep directly in front of you, and you place both hands up in front of you, and you close your hand around the lit area, and then pass it into your other hand, and then spread it across the other half in this kind of very almost parlour-esque coin trick fashion, and pass the light onto the other half of the city.
Cool.
It's like painting a picture with words. As the wee hours turn into daybreak, and the seagulls make their monotonous, annoying alarm call of a fucking call.
Guess who used to live by the sea?
They've all moved inland as well. It's fine.
Don't worry. It was horrendous. Bit better.
So, as you all wake to the sound of cawing of mine, there's a Disney reference. We're really unformed this week. What would you like to do, guys? I assume we're going to have a short breakfast. Some people might
Yes.
try lotions.
I'd like to put a mask on, please.
You'd like to put your mask on. So
Yeah.
all of you kind of take the morning's routine that you have. You kind of cleaning your mask and placing it on. Both of you see this kind of very beautifully crafted kind of porcelain white mask that is, it's not a half cover, is it? It's complete.
It's a
full mask, so
Yeah.
she just completely covers her face. It's almost reminiscent of the Raven Queen's face as it covers her face. It's just a porcelain white. There's just simple slit for mouth and eyes. You, Master Brandis, will wake in the morning and realising that you have to...
Wake up. Oh!
Yeah, everything aches.
Oh, my life is pain.
You start to apply the salve of that you've been handed by the apothecary to help you with your sudden outbreak of scales. And for you...
Serious eczema.
Yeah, he's got like really bad eczema.
Real bad.
Rinwen, anything that you're doing this morning?
I'm just kind of like still sitting, looking out over the Waterdeep and the...
Cool, so you're just kind of keeping an eye on the general vicinity of things.
Yes.
And
I just stand up and go, well, a deal's a deal, and get out papers from my bag, walk over to the cliff, just go, drop.
they kind of splatter out into a kind of fan-like fashion across the water as they well, they're not onto the water, but they kind of drop slowly in a fan out, different pieces landing in areas.
I mean, I'd feel better if you burnt them, but thank you.
Or as a plan, this is far prettier.
Although
littering is...
Boring. Boring.
it won't be there forever.
The role of Leslie Knope will be played by Brandis Thorne.
My happy tiny moon child of a baby.
Anyway,
So I was going to watch them flitter away and go, well, turn back to Waterdeep and go, bye then.
Do you need a bodyguard?
Well, I've got little to no money to pay you and slightly eccentric necromancer. So...
Not technically a necromancer.
Fine, slightly eccentric
Yet.
ex-librarian who enjoys looking at the corpses of people and playing with them magically.
I really kind
Accurate.
of wish you hadn't explained that entirely to me. Look, I just need somewhere to go for a bit. I am more than happy to lend my sword to you. Pay me in anything we find along the way.
The more the merrier, plus safety numbers.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, don't be a penis. That goes for you too.
I'm never a penis.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a liability, but not a penis, thank you.
Even better. Fantastic. Yeah. You're still looking after her.
Well, I'm heading off to the Slumber Hills.
We are heading off.
Yes, sorry. We are heading off to the Slumber Hills.
Sumber Hills.
So,
You can tell she works with books, can't you?
you really can. Worked with books.
Hey,
Like she worked with bread.
hey, this
and
is
with children,
this is
and
sensitive
with old
right
people.
now. Like scratching up my raw skin. So,
I know how that
sorry.
feels as well.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the best.
If it makes you feel better, I don't give a shit.
Thank you.
Off
It does.
we go then.
Are we definitely bringing her along?
Yeah.
She has a mask. I've read her file. She's quite nifty with stealing things. And with a sword. I'm not condoning it, by any means.
You are.
No, I'm
yes,
not. I'm
you
not
are.
condoning it. I'm not.
You are.
Thank you for listening to the Alignment Unknown podcast. The players were Adam Unwin as Brandis Thorne, Kirsty Mealing as Rinwen Thaslananel, and Kyra Leigh as Punch. DM'd by Steve Archer. All music was performed by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 licensing. For more information on this, go to creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0. All of these links can be found in the description of the episode. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.